Hello, everyone, from wherever you're joining us. Good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon. It's noon here on the East Coast in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We'll just give a few more minutes or a few more seconds for people to join us. If I can just get something in the chat that says you can hear and see me okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We'll just give a few more seconds just to let people roll in. I know a lot of people have been waiting a long time for this Nutshell Campaigns webinar. It's one of our most requested webinars, and we hope we give a lot of good information today. Hopefully there's some follow-up questions as well, because I'm sure we won't get into everything, but we'll go ahead and get started here. People can roll in as they do. Again, just as a reminder, if you need to hop off at any point in time, as long as you registered for this event, you will get a copy of the recording of the webinar once it processes through our demo software. So without further ado, let's get started. Thank you for joining us for our Nutshell Campaigns webinar. I'm Will Gordon, the Director of Marketing here at Nutshell, and I'm joined by Emily Cyber, an Internet Marketing and Email Marketing Consultant at WebFX, who helps some of the WebFX clients run their email marketing campaigns through Nutshell Campaigns. So let's just go over a quick agenda real quick. Introductions, obviously. We'll go through the basics anatomy of an email and Nutshell Campaigns features and how to use them. The difference between our three types of emails: broadcasts, newsletters, and drip sequences. We'll also go through our new A/B testing feature, not in full detail because we do plan to have a future webinar specifically on this feature. How to report on email marketing success, both with inside Nutshell and external analytics applications. Sender authentication, which is pretty technical, but also very important. And then also what goes well with Nutshell Campaigns or any type of email marketing tool. And of course, please ask your questions throughout the presentation in the chat. If we see them and we're able to respond in the chat, we'll do that. But we do have an FAQ or Q&A section at the very end of the presentation that we'll be able to go through and hopefully answer most, if not all, of your questions. Before we jump into the rest of the presentation, I realized I left one key element out. Why did we add Nutshell Campaigns to Nutshell? So in 2020, 2021, Nutshell Campaigns was actually launched initially as Nutshell Marketing. And Nutshell Marketing was and is the same as Nutshell Campaigns today. And we figured, hey, the CRM is the place where you have all of your customers' data, informations, and email. It's going to be really easy to take that information, turn them into audiences, and send them beautifully designed email marketing, whether it's broadcast emails, newsletter emails on a regular basis, or drip sequences for some of your sales cycles or information that happens throughout Nutshell. So we figured, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to help sales and marketing work together. Voila, Nutshell Marketing and now Nutshell Campaigns was born. So with that being said, I actually want to toss it over to Emily to get us started just quickly with going over the basics of what makes up an email. So Emily, let me toss it over to you to start.
Thanks, Will.
Oop, Emily, you might have muted yourself.
Sorry about that. Thank you for the lovely introduction. I'm super happy to be here and talk all things email marketing with you guys. So, before we get into the email marketing strategies themselves, we'd like to go into a little bit of a beginner's crash course on the anatomy of an email campaign. So, we recorded a quick training video to cover the basics. Will, could you pull that up for us?
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to be walking you through the anatomy of an email, which basically are the different components that come together to create your email. And each piece we have here contributes to the overall experience that recipients have when they receive one of your messages. So to start, you'll see here we have our from name and our from address. This is your sender information, and this appears before the recipient opens the email. It's the first thing that they'll see in the inbox, and it should be recognizable and trustworthy. So make sure you're using either your company's name or an employee's name at your company and use your custom domain in the sender email address that you will verify through DNS and DMARC records, which I will talk about later. And then we have our audience. So this could be an audience synced from Customer 360 FX, or it could be an imported email list that you create. Whoever your target audience is that you're going to be sending to, you will select that here from the drop down. So we're going to select customers. Then we have our subject line. This is the piece of text that appears after the sender information, and this will tell subscribers exactly what this email is all about. And you want to use this to catch the reader's attention, add preview text as well below here to support the subject line and kind of give the reader more of a taste of the email body content that they'll be reading. And then finally, you can also add UTM parameters here. This will be the tracking portion of your email. So this will pull in the data and engagement results that you receive from your email send into your preferred analytics platform, such as Google Analytics 4. And you can customize these parameters, however, they're already set up for you using Nutshell as the source. Your medium should always be email, and then the campaign by default will use however you've named the email message, but you can also customize this as well. And then you also get a shareable URL here that you can copy and paste and send to anyone else in your organization. And then we have our email body content. So this includes your logo, maybe your social media handles, any images, and any text content that you create. And once the reader opens the email, they will see this body copy. So it should provide valuable information in a clear and concise way and speak directly to the recipient's needs and pain points. After your audience has read the email, you want to invite them to take action. So your call to action does just this. It could be in the form of a button, as we see here with the read full article button, or it can also be a link within the text as well. And this should outline the next steps that users should take. For example, maybe download now if there's a PDF or guide that you want them to download, get your free sample, learn more, etc. There's a lot of different call to actions that you can test out. Including your contact information within the email body copy can help improve trust with your audience by showing them that this email came from a verified source. So, this provides another way for users to move on to the next step in your sales funnel by helping them to reach out to you directly with questions or additional needs as well. And emails need to include your company's address to comply with all the major email spam laws. So, as we see here, we get a nice merge tag that adds the mailing address automatically to however you've set it up in your Nutshell settings. And all emails should also include an unsubscribe link to comply with canned spam laws as well. So you have to provide a way to opt out of receiving your emails. So make this link accessible and simple by including it at the bottom of all your marketing emails. And these are the main pieces of your email that make up the anatomy of your email as a whole.
Awesome. Emily, thank you so much for recording that previously. Um, we saw one question in the chat of, will this be recorded? Overall, yes, this whole entire demo and webinar will be recorded and sent to you. We will also be uploading that short training video as a separate video as well. So you will have access to both of those items in the future. And then again, that goes over the basics of what you need to do in order to build and be able to send out an email from any email marketing tool, specifically from Nutshell campaigns. And at this point in time, we wanted to jump in a little bit further into Nutshell campaigns and the features we have in there and how we're going to be able to use it. So I also saw another question in there about how many audiences we can build and everything. And I kind of preluded with the information of, hey, we already have all of this customer data inside your CRM, inside Nutshell. And then you can use all the powerful filtering and tagging and custom fields within inside Nutshell to help you build those audiences within only a couple clicks. So how I mentioned that is you can use the tags that you have or the custom fields that you have attached to people records and just simply go into your people list, filter down, and then select all, and then add them to an audience or create an audience from that list there very, very easily. Also in Nutshell campaigns, Emily went over it briefly, but our drag and drop email builder is absolutely no code. If you don't know how to code, it's no problem. I'm a marketer, not a developer. I can go in and build one of these emails. It might take me a half an hour because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but I don't have to learn how to code or do anything like that. And then last but not least, before we jump into Nutshell Campaigns itself, is we have three different types of emails that you can send from Nutshell Campaigns. We have broadcasts, newsletters, and drip sequences. And we're about to jump into our demo account real quick just to show you some of that information. But the difference is we just want to cover that first before we jump in and show you the visuals of this. Broadcast emails are one-off emails. You can use them for announcements or special offers or upcoming events. So if you're attending a trade show and you want to let everyone know within a specific industry or client cohort or geographic region, hey, we're going to be attending this trade show, you can create an audience and send that broadcast email to that specific audience just one time. It's not something that's going to repeat itself. For newsletters, this is going to be that ongoing messages or something with a similar theme. I know a lot of companies will send out just a monthly update newsletter or maybe a yearly year in review type of newsletter that they want to always continually send out month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year, something along those lines. And then last but not least, we have drip sequences. And this is a series of emails triggered by an event and designed to meet a certain goal with inside Nutshell. So to let you under the hood just a little bit, how Nutshell uses drip sequences, every single time someone new opens up a 14-day free trial with Nutshell, they automatically get added to our sales drip sequence that helps give them information along that 14-day period to help them utilize and find different areas of Nutshell to hopefully convince them from going from a free trial to a paying customer within Nutshell. If that customer were to unsubscribe from the drip email, hopefully not, or complete our goal of becoming a paying customer of Nutshell, they'll no longer receive any remaining drip emails in that drip sequence. So it has the goal of helping someone create or reach a certain goal within Nutshell, whether that is signing up for a service, contacting a sales rep, or upgrading their services with your company. So now I want to jump into um, our demo account over here. And if you can just give me 1 second, just to hopefully I can find the right screen. Um, I'm having just a little bit of difficulties. I knew we'd run into something. Um, we might have to come back to this one in a second. I'm just having some difficulties sharing my screen. So let's go ahead and move forward with our presentation. I promise I will come back to this because there's definitely some detail I want to go into further. So we won't jump in at this moment in time, but we'll continue with our presentation here. Excuse me. So we also mentioned that you can use Nutshell's reporting features, which is this image here at the bottom of the screen that you see the yellow arrow pointing to. This helps you figure out how well your emails are performing within Nutshell. So I know it's a little bit small, but you can see how many total emails were sent out, what the open rate of your email is. So that is the total amount of emails sent versus how many people opened them. What is the click rate? How many emails were sent divided by how many people clicked on them, and then what is the unsubscribe rate as well. So any emails that you send out and people are like, hey, I no longer want to view your emails, they can go ahead and unsubscribe from that. And bounce rate, it's another important metric to look at too as it relates to your audiences. You want to make sure you have a relatively low bounce rate. That basically means that your email wasn't delivered to an inbox. If you have an extremely high bounce rate, some email providers that you're sending your emails through their providers to reach an inbox, they might start marking your emails as spam because they're seeing, hey, a lot of your emails are bouncing. It doesn't show a good email health. So when you see a high bounce rate in the Nutshell reports or whatever software you're using to track your emails, basically just means you should go back to your audience list and confirm that all of your emails are accurate, up to date, and people haven't unsubscribed from your email lists. And of course, we also have our A/B feature, which is relatively new to Nutshell. We launched that earlier in 2024. You're able to A/B test subject lines and preview text just to make sure, or just to see hey, I want to test two certain messages. What's going to result in a higher click-through rate or a higher goal conversion rate for this email? Like I said, we're not going to dive too deep into A/B testing at this moment in time because we do plan to have a separate webinar just on Nutshell Campaigns' A/B testing features. So I'll kick this back over to Emily while I try to figure out how I can share my screen here. But this is just going to go over how to build successful audiences for your email campaigns.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. So, as a refresher, audiences are targeted lists of individuals to which your campaign's aimed. So, while you can send email outreach to any contacts on the fly, we definitely recommend creating an audience for better visibility into the engagement of your outreach. And to start building an audience, you need to ask customers to opt in to receive your marketing emails. So, here are a few tried and true methods that we have tested to get opt in to your email your customers. First, you can start a referral program that asks current subscribers to refer a friend and get a discount or some type of special perk for subscribing. You can try pitching your newsletter to your social media followers or create personalized landing pages that ask users to submit their email address and contact info to opt in. Or you can add sign up forms directly to your website that ask the users to sign up and enter their email address, or even enter their email address to download some valuable content like a guide or PDF resource that you have to share with them. And I think Will is going to mention some more about Nutshell forms and how you can set those up.
Yes, thank you, Emily. And I was able to figure out my screen so we can go back and share that in a second. We mentioned forms earlier, and Emily mentioned opting in as well. One of the other marketing features that Nutshell has is Nutshell Forms and Nutshell Connected Forms. So you can build your own lead generation or subscriber forms directly in Nutshell, or if you're using a different website form builder, you can connect those forms to Nutshell as well. And I also mentioned the powerful tagging features. When you're building those forms, you can automate so that Nutshell will automatically add tags to certain people as they fill out their forms, and those tags will automatically trigger someone to get added to an audience. So, for example, on our website, if you go to most of our blog pages, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll see an orange banner that says "Sign up to subscribe to the Sell to Win newsletter," which is one of our monthly newsletters. People would fill out this form. It generates a new people record in Nutshell. It adds a tag that says Sell to Win audience, and that tag triggers them to automatically get added to our Sell to Win newsletter audience. When we send out our next Sell to Win newsletter, they'll automatically get that without any manual ongoing lift from us. We can build that from the very, very beginning. And you can also do this with PDF content downloads as well. So any way that you want to get people to sign up on your website, you can do that within Nutshell. Now, I do want to take a couple steps back so I can share my screen here and just show a few parts of Nutshell. Um, uh, Let me see just something in the chat. It shows on my screen, but can we see the marketing side in here as well? Okay, thank you, Jamal, for the answer there. So what I wanted to do is just show you a little bit of the back end. I'm not going to go in and build a newsletter for us, but just where to find some of this information in Nutshell. And if you're on the demo right now and you are a Nutshell customer and you don't see this marketing sidebar, all you need to do is ask your Nutshell admin. It's typically the person that signed up for Nutshell or is responsible for paying the bill for Nutshell. They just need to give you access to this marketing section of the website, and you'll be able to click in and see all of these options in here. And just wanted to give you a quick tour of the back end. So when you click it on marketing, it's going to take you to summary. You'll notice throughout wherever you click, we try to make this as easy as possible and provide you with as many tips as possible. So if you want to learn more about campaigns, even after this webinar, just go ahead and click on some of the tips and it can take you through some more information, link you to some of our support articles as well. And of course, we always have our live chat available during business hours, and you can always email our support team at support@nutshell.com if you have additional questions. So summary will take you here. Clicking into broadcast will take you to any and all of your broadcast emails. Clicking into newsletters will take you into your newsletter emails. Again, separate tips for what newsletters are. And then last but not least, for the 3 types of emails, you can go into your drip sequence information directly on what a drip sequence is and how to create them here as well. I also want to click in on audiences real quick. You can create an audience directly from your people list Or if you wanted to create the audience first and then add people to the audience list, you just come in here, create new audience, give this a descriptive name. So let's say campaigns webinar. I'm just going to go ahead and create that. And then we can see in here, nobody's in here just yet because it's brand new, but I can go in here and add members, and you can go from people, leads, or companies, or you can also import directly from a CSV file. All you'll need is the person's name and email address, and that's what you can do to upload them into this new audience that I just created here. What I will do, I said I wouldn't build a brand new one, but we can go ahead in here and create a new broadcast just to kind of show you some of the features in the background. So you can start from scratch. If you want to start from a blank template, build it from scratch. If you do have some coding abilities, you are absolutely more than capable of doing that yourself. Like I said, I'm not a coder, I'm a marketer. So I like to use our templates that we have in here as well. So I think we have over 30 templates to build from. So I'm just going to pick this first one here just for simplicity's sake, and then go ahead and start from featured product promotion. That's just the name of the template. At this point in time, you can choose if you just want to send a standard broadcast or if you do want to A/B test using the preview line or subject line or something like that. For the simplicity, again, I'm not going to do the A/B test right now. You can decide to A/B test after the fact here, so you don't need to set it up right here and now. Again, we want to name this broadcast, and I'll just do campaigns webinar again for simplicity since we're doing that today here. It will take a second to save. And then it's going to load up directly from the template itself. So you can see as I'm clicking around here, different things will get highlighted. If I want to change this featured product, all I have to do is click in, highlight, and change the text just like that. If you want to add additional rows or content, you can come in here and say, hey, I want to add one more row to make this a little bit different from the template that was there before. And for content, maybe I want to add in another paragraph block here. So it'll come in with just some standard text. You can go ahead and edit that easily. Something else that's relatively new to Nutshell Campaigns, we quietly announced this on social media, and I think we included in a shipping news a while back, is we also have just a small little AI writing assistant. So you can go into that paragraph block and then give it a prompt very similar to the Chat GPT if you've used that before, or our partner Team AI. You put in what you would like it to say, it'll spit out the information for you. I always recommend make sure any type of AI content is human edited and human reviewed before you do publish it out. AIs are not human and they do not know your brand as well as you do. But it's super easy to just drag and drop. Say I want this image to be above that paragraph block I just created. I'll move it up here. You can see I dragged and drop it, and I can drag this guy back down here as well. So it's very easy to work with inside here. When you go over to the details section, this is some of the information that Emily covered in her training video as well. You can choose your sender address. You can say, hey, which audience do I want to send this to? Write in the subject line, and then add your preview text as well. I know Emily also covered this in the training video, but I would always recommend adding UTM parameters to all of the links that you have in there. If you're not using any analytics software right now, I would highly recommend at least getting started with Google Analytics 4. It's a free software. It can be a little complex at times. For simplicity's sake, having Google Analytics installed on your website is going to help you keep track of all of your marketing efforts. And adding the UTM parameters to your email links will say, hey, your traffic came from this specific email campaign, which is going to tell you how you can get better at writing better emails and drumming up more business for your business. Again, I mentioned earlier, you don't have to decide to A/B test right away. You can go ahead and click in here and you can say, hey, how do I choose the winning version based on open rate or click-through rate? How much, again, I won't dive into too much detail here, but then you can also choose to decide preview text or subject lines, information like that. And obviously, I didn't send this email out yet, but you can go ahead and look at the individual engagement for each individual email you send out. So how many messages were delivered, what was the open rate, the click-through rate, unsubscribe rate, and bounce rate that we shared there earlier. So again, that's just a little bit of the inside of Nutshell marketing section here, in our Nutshell campaign specifically. I also did mention Nutshell forms as well. You can you can't add a form to your email, but you can easily link to a Nutshell form. You just go into Nutshell Forms and you can create a new form. Again, if you need additional help on that, we have information on what a form is and how to build that as well. So that's basically what I wanted to share inside the app. I hope that was a little bit helpful. If you have questions on what I just shared, feel free to try to drop them in the chat or reach out to our support team. Our support team is more than happy to help you with forms or anything to do with campaigns. So we'll jump back into our presentation. And I think I want to start off with Emily here on this one as well, just to kind of talk about how we can measure our success for email marketing.
Awesome. So now that you've mastered how to create emails with nutshell campaigns and send them out to your audience, you'll want to report on the success of your email campaign. So, our first recommendation is really to focus on the numbers and really think and decide what KPIs are important to you and your business goals. Within Nutshell campaigns, you have access to a variety of email metrics, including open rates, click rates, unsubscribe rates, and bounce rates. And all these metrics work together to really paint a picture of the success of your email campaigns and see how well it engaged your audience. One caveat that I do want to mention is that in this age of Apple Mail privacy protection and data privacy, open rates are no longer as reliable of a metric because Apple now preloads emails on its own proxy servers, which means that it will trigger the tracking pixel for every email that it's processing. So essentially, this means that you could potentially see a 100% open rate for Apple Mail recipients, even if they didn't actually open the message or not. And the greater percentage of your audience that uses Apple Mail, the more you'll see your open rates inflate artificially. So, for this reason, we really recommend turning towards more reliable metrics like click rates or conversion rates that quantify how many subscribers engage with your emails after they're opened. And with Nutshell, you can also track engagement down your sales funnel by looking at the email drip sequence metrics and how many goals that your campaigns met. As always, make sure you're using the right tools to provide you with first party data on the success of your campaigns. Again, we recommend checking out your Nutshell Campaigns engagement report to see how many subscribers directly engage with your emails. Or you can also review an analytics tool like Google Analytics 4 for accurate website engagement data. So, this is going to show you how many subscribers clicked through to your site and visited different pages or converted after opening your emails.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. And then moving on to what I alluded to before as one of the more technical areas, but also very important to make sure that your emails can send from Nutshell or from any other email marketing platform that you might be using.
Yes, this is definitely a crucial step to the success of your campaign. So you'll need to verify your email address that you use to send your campaigns, like Will said. And for a little bit of background, in February 2024, email providers like Gmail and Yahoo implemented some new sender authentication requirements. And ultimately, their goal is to crack down on spammy emails hitting subscribers' inboxes. And the way that they want you to do this is by adding additional DMARC records to your DNS platform that essentially tell Google and Yahoo that these emails are coming from a trusted sender. And luckily, Nutshell makes sender authentication easy by outlining the different steps you need to follow to implement these records and comply with the new rules. And again, this step is extremely important as you may run the risk of your emails getting rejected altogether without the DMARC records in place.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. And pardon my delay, we're responding to the chat here as well. Before I jump into the next slide, too, I will say if you have any issues with the sender authentication, so with DKIM, SPF, and DMARC records, there was a recent update in the industry that made this a lot more important. And Nutshell support has been trained on helping you know what you need to change, what you might need to log into, whether it's GoDaddy or whatever your web hosting or email hosting provider is. So if you have questions and you're coming over as a new campaigns customer or you're a current campaigns customer and we haven't gotten this squared away for you yet, just live chat our support team or email support at nutshell.com, and we're more than happy to help walk you through it. And then just jumping into another recent ad, a new add-on for Nutshell. What goes well with campaigns or any type of marketing campaign? Landing pages. So we added this new feature. This is a separate paid feature of Nutshell, where you can create an unlimited number of unique branded landing pages to host on your website. So if you're taking the time to build out that beautifully designed email marketing campaign or drip sequence, and you want them to have somewhere really specific to land on your website, you can now create that web page or that landing page directly inside Nutshell. The no code designer is the exact same as Nutshell campaigns. So as far as the learning curve goes, if you're already using Nutshell campaigns, there's no additional learning curve there. You can track landing pages engagement and optimize for conversion. You can also connect them to tools like Google Analytics, so you can see the conversions roll in there as well. And if you do have access to the marketing section of Nutshell, you can go in and test out a landing page and just see how easy it is to build, see if you'd want to use it for your business's cases. And then if you want to use it, all you need to do is be able to purchase that add-on. This add-on is $37 a month for your entire company. So that's not per seat within Nutshell. It's just $37 per month. And then you have unlimited use of that landing page feature. So with that being said, I know we had a lot of questions in the chat. I'll try to scroll through and see all of them, but feel free to get your questions into the chat, and Emily and I will do our best to answer them as far as email strategy goes or functionality of Nutshell campaigns in Excel. Jackie, I see your, do you have an example of a landing page feature? I think I actually have a link to send over if I remembered to get this correctly. I did. Let me just copy this link over. This was from a webinar that we had a few weeks ago. It might have been early February, related to landing pages. So this is just a walkthrough of how easy it is to build landing pages. And also, if you just go to our website, you can check out more information on landing pages, where I think we do have some examples as well. Ali, I see we have a creative brand agency. So if you are a pro customer and above, I mentioned up earlier in the chat that we recently added the ability for teams that have a Nutshell Pro account, Power AI account, or Nutshell Enterprise account, where you can add up to 3 free marketing seats that enables someone to be able to log in and handle basically everything inside the marketing section of Nutshell. You have limited access to the rest of the CRM for these specific seats. But you're able to just add their email in, and they'll have access to be able to build audiences, design the emails for you, and send them out on your behalf. Ollie, if you go to your settings and then your users and teams, you'll just add them there. And then make sure they have, in the role-based permissions, make sure they're set as a marketing user. If you don't set them as a marketing user, that will increase your billing for the month. So making sure they're marketing users. If you do mess up in that, just explain that you were on the webinar, and our support team can help out with a refund for that. Lisa, we have a question on how to resize photos while building out an email. Do you mean just getting the right image or the right image size in there in the first place, or once it's dropped into the campaign, the drip sequence, the broadcast, or into the email builder? I believe you should just be able to click the corner and size it down that way. Emily, am I giving the correct information there?
I believe so, yes.
And I
Mhm.
think you're also able to, I'm just confirming in my other screen, I don't want to share just yet. Yeah, once you click on the image itself in the sidebar, you can basically scroll the image to be either slightly larger or slightly smaller. Lisa, I can follow up with just a quick screen share for you as well. And I think someone else had same question as Lisa, so I'll make sure to copy you on the same email. Amber, I think the question is, can audiences be built based off products assigned to them as well as tags? I'm not exactly sure as products, but if you're able to filter that way in your leads list, companies list, or people list, then yes, you can just auto click and select all of the people in that filtered list. And then an option will come up at the bottom of your screen where it says add to audience. And then you can add them directly to an audience based upon that filtering.
Well, we had a question from Sonia about sending one campaign to multiple audiences, and she was wondering if she could do that in one shot, or does she need to send the campaign 3 different times, say if she had 3 audiences?
It would need to send 3 different times to 3 different audiences. Again, you're doing the bulk of the work. You're building out the separate audience. I would say that's more of the bulk workload, and then you're writing the specific email, and then to make sure it sends to all 3 audiences, you're just duplicating that effort of going in, attaching an audience, and sending it. So yeah, you would have to send that 3 separate times. I did see a question on UTM parameters. I'm just trying to scroll back in. Um, from Tess. So UTM, so overall, I forget exactly what UTM stands for, but this is basically, it allows analytics tools to track where your traffic is coming from. So if you use a tool like Google Ads automatically adds UTM parameters to every single click that comes from them. So analytics tools can say, this is coming from Google Ads. When you're in Nutshell campaigns and you are in the details section, I'll share my screen again here, just so we can see this. Um, when you're in the details section of any email that you're about to send, so editor and then details up right here. If you go all the way down to the bottom of this list, you say add UTM parameters to all links. And again, if you want to edit those as well, you can customize them. Emily mentioned it before. I would always keep your medium as email. So any analytics tool can tell this was from an email effort. And then typically the campaign will be whatever the name of the email you're sending out is. You can also uncheck that box and edit that if you would like to. And then you can edit the source of that email if you would like to as well. Scrolling through. And Emily, if you see a question in there that you can get to while I'm searching for more. I see a question from Jill about brand colors and fonts in Canva. I know for colors, as long as you have the hex code, you can easily match those colors in Nutshell. Fonts, it would depend. I know we don't have the absolute largest library of fonts, but you can definitely check. If you do run into an issue, just contact our support team. They'll be able to give you a full answer of whether yes or no we can use your font.
I see a question from Lisa. To track UTM, we need to track each one separate for each email, correct? Yes, each email will generate its own unique UTM parameters. So that will help you see which campaign results in your analytics platform are pulling in.
Question from Eduardo, can we apply different landing pages to different websites from Nutshell easily? I don't know if that means you are like the Nutshell landing pages feature or just landing pages on your website. If you're building them within Nutshell, basically once you're done building them and you publish it, you'll just copy the URL and then you can add that as a link in your email. Or if you're just using a landing page from that's currently on your website, or you want to link out to your Facebook page or anything like that, yes, you can just copy in those emails. Now the UTM parameter codes, if it's not going to your website, you won't be able to track that traffic. So if you're sending it to maybe one of your partner businesses or to someone else's website or to your Facebook page, Google Analytics is not going to track that for you, but wherever that traffic is going, if they have analytics set up, it will track them for that. I see Celeste coming in here with another email. Is there a limit to how many emails that we can send out? This is it's actually one of the most asked questions in Nutshell. And also if you Google it, a lot of responses do pop up here. In Nutshell, we have two main different email functions. We have the ability to send emails from your Gmail address or from your actual email address directly to your customers, not really the email marketing that Campaigns is. If you're sending emails that way, Nutshell does not have a limit, but certain email providers too. So if your company email address is through Microsoft or through Google, there are certain sending limits per day. I think Microsoft is 1,000. They might have increased. So if you do hit that limit from just sending from your email address, yes, there's a limit. No, it's not a Nutshell imposed limit. For Nutshell campaigns, The way that Campaigns is charged to customers, I guess we should say that Campaigns is as cheap as $5 a month for up to 150 contacts. And then it basically scales in pricing based upon how many contacts you do have in Nutshell. I don't have the price memorized in my head, but you can go to our website and in the drop down menu, you can find the Campaigns page. From there, basically, your limit is 8 times the number of contacts in your account. So if you have 1,000 contacts in your CRM, your limit of Campaigns messages that you can send in a month is 8,000 messages. I see a question from Jill. Do we need to ask permission from our current contacts before sending a newsletter, or is the opt out in the email enough? Um, Jill, I've seen this a few cases, and maybe Emily can provide a little bit more up to date information. But from what I've seen recommended, if they've never opted into a marketing newsletter before, it's best practice to basically send them a new email that says, "Hey, would you like to opt in for this new newsletter that we will be sending out?" That's, I would say, best practice to do. But Emily, do you have anything to add on top of that?
Yeah, I definitely would recommend the same. You can ask the contact to opt in and provide the subscribe link. Also, I would always just recommend with any new contacts asking them to opt in explicitly as well. And you can do that several ways. One great way is just to, add a checkbox or some type of opt in messaging to your forms just to let them know that they will, by contacting you, opt in to receive marketing emails as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. And I'll answer this one last question here. I do see a lot of good questions that I do want to try to answer. So if you get an email directly from me over the next week or two, that's me trying to respond to some of these fantastic questions. But I see this last one from Ollie. Can you give an example of a drip sequence to acquire more customers? Um, so, like I mentioned earlier, to let everyone under the hood of how we use our main drip sequence. So, for instance, when someone fills out a free trial form on Nutshell, they'll get the 2 week free access to Nutshell to try all of our features that are included in our highest tier account, Nutshell Enterprise. And then as they're going through our sales pipeline, we trigger out a drip email campaign. It's a 7-part sequence. It sends 2 hours after the person signs up, and then there's a little bit of delay based upon, I think it's a 2-day delay to make sure that it stretches the whole 14 days of their account. If they don't purchase by the end of their 2 week trial, there may be like, "Hey, can we offer a discount? Can we offer you an extension?" That type of thing, just to see if they are still kicking the tires a little bit, still interested in the CRM. Throughout the individual emails, we might send out an email that has certain features within Nutshell that says, "Hey, did you know that Nutshell also has an email marketing tool or a prospecting tool or Nutshell Intelligence, which helps people or get more information from people by contacting lots of databases online for publicly available information." So people might have signed up for Nutshell, but not knew the full scope of what it did. So we offer them an email that says, "Hey, Nutshell has all these features." The next email might come out and have information about our individual plans from Foundation, Pro, Power AI, Enterprise to help people decide what plan might be best for them in their business. So it's the drip sequence. It can be triggered by any item or any activity or any tag added in your CRM. So for instance, that one is triggered if they became a new trial and entered our new sales pipeline, and that is what triggers them to get added for that drip campaign. I hope that was a good answer for that. I know it's a little bit, it can change from company to company, so I can't give a very specific of what a good drip sequence is for everybody, but hopefully that covered a little bit of that, Ollie. So like I said, I really appreciate all these questions. I wish we had more time to answer all of them, but I'm for respect of everyone's time, we're going to end it here now. Again, everybody who signed up for this webinar, whether you attended the whole time for 10 minutes or weren't able to attend at all, you will receive a copy of this webinar in your inbox as soon as our webinar platform processes that data. We will eventually also upload this to our YouTube channel. So if you lose that link, you will be able to find it in a couple months from now. And then Emily's training video that we showed earlier in the webinar, we'll share that as well. And like I said, lots of great questions. Thank you so much for attending today. I'm going to try to reach out to some of you individually to answer some of these questions where I can. But overall, thank you so much for coming to our webinar today on Nutshell Campaigns. And I'd like to extend a thank you from Emily Seibert from WebEffects for sharing her email expertise as well. So thank you for attending.